Roll. Have you had a chance to so much we appreciate that. Man, we're excited. Pretty terrific session.
I'll chew gladly. We'll try to do it before she turns.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. I was hoping that my session would have been before the bacon because that's a tough act to follow after waiting 2 years to have that again. But thank you all so much for joining in to What's in Your Digital Toolbox. And today's session is going to be a glance at innovative technologies, not that any technology is not innovative, that are available for digital connections and instructional technology. All right, so just a little bit about myself. My name is Crystal Pearson. I'm the Director of Technology for Brunswick County Public Schools. I included my favorite quote there, which says, "Technology will never replace great teachers, but technology in the hands of great teachers, technology can be transformational." So that is one of my favorite quotes because sometimes our teachers are a little reluctant to use technology, but especially our seasoned teachers that have it down to the T. But once they add that technology, it just allows them to flourish even more. Follow me on Twitter at TechDirect501. This is a little I'm excited about. This year I was recognized as the SVRTC Technology Leader of the Year, and my award was presented to me by First Lady Pamela Northam. And as I'll talk in the presentation a little bit later, I am an Adobe Creative Educator Certified Level 2. All right, so we all know that most times as educators, we are excited about learning. And this is traditionally me on a normal day. I'm heading to work and I'm just so excited. That's my little boy in the back, well, backseat halfway. And I'm just so excited because I'm going to take the world by storm today. Today is going to be the day that everything technology is going to be perfect. All the kids are going to bring their devices. Everything is going to be charged. No one's going to have a service ticket. And then I get to work and I go through these series of emotions. That would be me, the first picture where I have my woosah moment at the very beginning of the day. Crystal, you got this. It's gonna all come out together. And then by the time 9 o'clock hits, I realize that I have 50 million meetings that I have to attend. And then I get in those meetings and I go from one meeting to the next and my brain can't cope. And even if it's not in the morning, I have that staff development meeting in the afternoon after I've already spent all day talking to my little bitty children about behaving. And then I have to meet again. I'm there and I get ready to sit down and eat my lunch and someone needs something else and I have to turn around and fix that. Then I have that moment where I've explained every single lesson or activity down to the T, and the students always say, what did you ask us to do? And then by the end of the day, you're tired. But in the world of technology and being a professional, we are the individuals that, regardless of what part of that profession we're in, we are in high demand. And our roles always merge over from one thing to the next. And I thought that I knew a lot about technology, and I thought that as far as integration of technology, I had it down pat, right? And then the pandemic hit. And I realized that a lot of what I was using, I knew how to use Zoom, but I didn't use breakout rooms. What did I need breakout rooms for? I knew how to use Google Meet, but why do I need to have an extension to allow kids to have access to Google Meets? It was just so many things that hit my department as well as myself all at once. And we realized that we had to sharpen up our digital toolbox. Technology is not going anywhere. So if anything, it is our job to make sure that we increase our technology presence. So in doing so, as a school division, we decided to let our schools decide which platform they wanted to use, okay? So our elementary schools, they all wanted Google Meet. Google Meet is, we're gonna do Google Meet, right? And this is probably an example of what just about all of our teachers experienced on Google Meet. They all wanted Google Meet. We gave them Google Meet. And as much as we love the online platform, it was challenging for our teachers to find innovative technologies to keep the students engaged, because now I can see everyone on the screen, but I'm in the comfort of my home. I have my PJs on, and this is my dad's shoe. It's nothing to do with the lesson, but he wanted you to know that this is his dad's shoe. Or, hey, this is my dog. So that was an experience in itself. And we learned a lot after that. But we wanted to make sure that as we continue, because we didn't want to revert back, as we continue with our technology integration, that we had a plan in place. So our secondary schools, they decided to use Zoom. And that was pretty much how that went. The students really kind of, they were into it because they had to do it, but they really didn't love it. So it was a big difference. And we started looking at our technology practices, and it's like, okay, the elementary students, they love being on the camera. Our secondary students, one of the biggest things was we can't get them to cut the camera on. Or if they cut the camera on, they're not engaged. And I'm sure most of you all experienced that as well. So we started thinking about, as a department, different ways we could help our teachers to pull students in, be it additional resources, offering Tech Tuesdays, just giving them more resources in their toolbox. Because now that you have the students and you have the technology, we wanted to make sure that we were allowing them to sharpen their skills. Okay. So as educators, we have used technology in some of the most creative and unimaginable ways. In the midst of a pandemic and virtual learning, we have led the charge in ensuring that regardless of the platform, learning was meaningful. And I'm sure that on this screen, you'll see some commonalities from where your division, as to what we had, that no one wanted to stop Student of the Month recognitions. You had to continue to do those things. So we had to find innovative ways to make sure that we did that. No one wanted to stop morning announcements, so we had to do those virtually. So we use Google Meet as a platform for the students to do morning announcements virtually. And one of our schools, they now have a breakfast club, and they continue to do that virtually. The students in the morning, they don't get on the intercom and say, good morning, this is Mrs. Pearson, and welcome to Smith Canyon Elementary School. No, they log into Google Meet, and all of the students are watching the principal and the dean of student doing the morning announcement. That was something that we pulled from our resources, and we continue to use for our instruction. So a digital toolbox is a collection of online resource tools that enrich the learning environment for learners and instructors. One of my favorite tips and tricks is Adobe Spark. How many of y'all use Adobe Spark? Does everyone use Adobe Spark? Hit or miss? No? Okay. Okay. So Adobe Spark is probably my go-to because it allows me to create what I want to create. I can make dimensions based upon whatever platform I'm using. So if I'm posting something on Facebook, I can formatted for Facebook posts. If I'm posting on Twitter, I can do that LinkedIn. And now we are encouraging our teachers to do that with our students. So I'll share a little bit of what they have going on in the classrooms. The students were doing literary works, and instead of using Word or Publisher, we linked their Adobe accounts to their Google Classroom, and it's all merged through Clever. And now they use their devices to create any type of posters. Some of them are creating memes. We had one teacher, her students created Bitmoji classrooms to show how a beauty parlor would look, because they were the cosmetology students. So that is a resource that we use. It's linked to their accounts. They don't have to worry about not having access to it because it's automatically connected together. We use our interactive panels, and the students can cast from their Chromebook to the interactive panel and show evidence of their work. So that is a resource that we use. We also used Adobe Spark for our technology newsletters, which was something that was a different form of communication. We wanted to make sure we were, you normally get the paper newsletters, but we wanted to have digital copies sent home to kind of meet everyone's needs. So that is something that we use Adobe Spark for, and we were able to upload through there. Staff recognitions, any type of announcements, and even some of our students, this one is mine, but some of our students even created virtual Zoom backgrounds. So for you as an educator, if you want to have that nice holiday background, but you want to include your name to it, Adobe Spark is a wonderful platform. You go on, you create your background, you download it. You can download as a JPEG, PNG, or you can download as a PDF, and you'll have that image. So recognition, social media announcements, and virtual backgrounds.
Did you get a district?
Yes, yes. So we have a K through 12, and it was free, K through 12. And we signed up. We've had it for quite some time. We've had it a little bit over 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And we signed up. We were able, now we had to sync it to our Google Admin Console for certain pieces, but you don't have to. And once you sync it over and you put all that together, the students, you have to assign the students the license, and they can use
And it's totally web-based?
Yes.
Nice.
So applications, some of our students will start working on their Adobe Spark on their Chromebook at school, and then they'll finish up their Spark on their cell phone. So you can download on your mobile device as well. And if you have any questions, please stop me, because I would love to answer.
No interrupt.
No, please,
Me
please.
and Curtis over there.
So with doing that, we wanted to make sure that we were doing our best, put forth our best effort to engage our teachers, right? Because we know that if teachers buy into it, then we can get the students to buy into it. If teachers don't buy into it, it's not going to happen for the students. And we wanted to make sure that at some point we have Google certifications for our students, and we allow them to be able to have more access so that when they leave school, they are more proficient in technology other than knowing how to create a Word document or a PowerPoint. And with creativity and project-based learning, we just wanted them to have some resources that they could use independently. So the Adobe Creative Educator program is for those of you that are looking to add some additional credentials to your platform. It is a 1-hour course. It's all online, 1-hour course. It is probably the easiest certification I've received. And you go on, you do the coursework, you submit a piece of work. So you can use your Adobe Spark account, create a flyer, a newsletter, any type of image, and upload it. And you get, this is us, Ms. Newell and myself, Ms. Jones, you get an Adobe Creative Educator t-shirt, a swag bag. They send you an Adobe Creative Educator kit for you to be able to use with your students and your staff, and you get your leveled badge. And you can do level 1, level 2, and then as you go up, they'll also allow you to be an Adobe Creative Educator coach. And it's completely free at no cost. So thinking about what we did was we targeted a few teachers in the division that were kind of our rock stars. We're like, hey, you should do this course with us. We started it, and now some of the other teachers have taken it on, and they're starting to get their certification as well. So the Adobe Creative Educator program is free. It's a 1-hour course. You upload your graphic, you share it, you do one little comment to the community, and you normally can get the certification and receive your badge. And the digital badge comes from Credly. Any questions so far?
You had mentioned something about your students taking on, some of those courses to get certification. Did you mention?
Yes.
Okay.
And so with the Adobe Creative Educator program, that one is for adults, but Google, which I learned a couple of weeks ago, they have a CTE program. So your high school students can receive certifications through Google. And I was talking to the Google rep. So please stop by and talk to the Google rep because she has some awesome information on how that works. We're planning to do it with our CTE students, but it is a great certification for them to have, and they'll get their certifications with. It looks like, I don't know if there's a few questions in the chat.
Is just a couple things about your presentation, but I told them that it would be in SCAD.
Okay,
So,
gotcha. All right, Google Slides, right? Everyone knows Google Slides. We're no strangers to Google Slides. But for me, and I'm sure as most of you all as educators, no one wants to reinvent the wheel. You want to be able to pick up and go. So I don't know how many of you all use these templates, but I live by Slides Carnival, Slides Go, and Slides Mania. So Slides Carnival. They're still seeing my screen. Slides Carnival, they're all ready-made templates. They include images, graphics within the templates. You can download them as PowerPoint presentations, and you can download them as Google Slides. Slides Go, very similar to that, and they are similar, but some of them are actually it just depends on what you're actually looking for. My favorite is Slides Mania. I love Slides Mania because, well, for one, the format. I like the format and how the template shows up. But you can have certificates. They have school bundles. They have holiday slides. They're already done. You download it, add your graphics, add your images. Imagine downloading and giving it to your students, sharing it. Each child have their own slide and they tell their Christmas story. Or each child has their own slide and they talk about aspirations, dreams, things of that nature. For the certificates portion, for our elementary people and secondary as well, I guess it could apply. They have actual demo templates where you can create the certificate. Once you pre-populate it, just type the kid's name in. And the good thing about Google Slides is you don't have to print the whole presentation. You can click on one slide, right click, and save that one slide as a JPEG, and you're done. Okay. So if you think about a running student of the month, or staff of the month, or tech teacher of the month, and you start at the beginning of the year, you create that first template, duplicate it, and then for the next month, just change the name, and you can send it out digitally. Okay. Is anyone using any of these?
Yes.
Okay. Right. Okay. In addition, for the certificates, choice boards are included. They have choice board templates, game board templates, digital notebooks. Something that I recently did with our admin staff at in my division is we did a brain dump, and they had a brain dump template on Slides Mania, and I just downloaded the template. That was it. Each employee received a copy of it, and they're using it now to do their digital brain dump every day. They're just typing it in what they need to go over. We did high energy, mid energy, low energy, and now they've transitioned it to their teachers, and their teachers are starting to use it with their students, specifically those students who are having social and emotional learning issues. So that is something that, and it's all in a Google slide. It's done. That slide could be shared. It could be shared with the teacher, the student, and the school counselor. If you have a child that you're targeting, they just want to jot their thoughts down and some feelings that they're having, and it's there for you to be able to kind of talk to. Students can even make a comment and tag that person. So if they want to comment and say, hey, I'm having a really good day, and I'm going to add Miss Johnson. So Miss Johnson will get that notification that he's having a really good day. So that is another option that you have using Google Slides. Padlet. Everyone use Padlet? Hit or miss some? Okay. So, Of course, we know Padlet is a powerful online tool for teachers to use as a way to be creative and interactive with both students both inside and outside the classroom. So we have that little guy there. One of the things that we like to do with our Padlet is we try to organize our Padlet, because some people use Padlet, but do you really use it? Do you really use all the tips and the features and the tricks that's included with it? Padlet has added some additional features that are really cool, and it allows you to brainstorm, open live question, collect research, and exit tickets. Okay, so just as an FYI, you can change the layout of your Padlet. It does not have to stay the same all the time. You can post attachments within your Padlet. You can modify your Padlet's appearance, and you can share your Padlet in various forms. So I'm going to have everyone to join me for our Padlet. You can either hit the scan me here, or you can type in the bit.ly link at the top. All right, so I created my Padlet, and as people are jumping into my Padlet, you should see a couple little bubbles popping up at the top. So for me, as a teacher, I organize my Padlet, or I would organize my, did everyone get in?
Can you remind the scammer?
It didn't scan, okay. Will it scan from there?
Yeah.
Okay. You're welcome. My red tabs are questions for my Padlet. Any tabs that are green are videos. Any tabs that are blue are photos or images. I mean, who doesn't like the Carlton? But what we like to do with the students is the teacher will have the Padlet already generated, right? Free Padlet subscription, you can get up to 3 Padlets, and at the end you can download it as a PDF and then start over fresh if you don't want to do the paid version. But they like to create the Padlets and give, so it can be an opener for the students. It can be a way for you to collect data from ITRTs or from your teachers within your division, just to kind of have an anonymous response as to what they feel. So here we have some people say that their hashtag would be hashtag better in person, and then hashtag enlightening. Some of their favorite technology tools are Mentimeter, Canva, and then I have the video there. So in the bottom corner of your Padlet, everyone should see a little plus symbol. You see that? All right. So I'm going to have everyone to search for a photo that explains how you felt when you heard that the bacon was back. We're not going to talk about the Christmas trees. That's still a little soft to my heart. But the bacon, we're going to talk about the bacon. As I saw the ribbon that says, "Where's the bacon?" So you can share a photo of how you feel right now in this very moment. So an image or a photo of some sort. Now, for those that have not really used Padlet as much, you would click on the plus symbol. And you can click the 3 dots. And you can search here. Okay, and as you can see, it's filling up pretty quickly, right? And then you can go back and comment on someone's Padlet. As a teacher, you can give the students the option to add reactions. So right now you don't have the option to add reactions, but if I click here, and I go down to reactions, I can include that. So now I'll give everyone the option to like someone's post. You want to save it? Always hit refresh. I learned that from Denise yesterday. Okay. And now you have the option to leave a heart reaction. So if you like that, you can click the little heart and add a reaction to that. You can also do the thumbs up. You can vote. So if you add an image and you wanted the students to, you add a question and you want the students to vote, they can vote on that question as well. So you do have that as an option for your, and then I guess we have Curtis there who feels fat. So there you have it. So different mixture of emotions, but it allows you to have that open platform for your students to be able to discuss. Any questions on Padlet before I move on? No? Okay. All right. My next tech tip that I probably live by religiously is Wheel of Names. A lot of people use that. Yeah. Wheel of Names is really good for those that don't use it. It can sync to your Google Classroom. Or something that I learned recently is if you have an image, you can insert the image. So I'm just going to click here and I'm going to click add image. And I'll click, let's see that. And it will add the image to your wheel as well. So let's just say, instead of including the students' names, let's just say each student had a character, right? You can upload their characters, and as you spin, then you don't have to disclose student names, especially if you're doing something virtually and people from outside of the classroom are joining in. Then you can spin and it can scan, and then the students will know who was selected. So you do have that option. And then as you spin the wheel, of course, once you get a winner, it will populate, it will give you sound, give you confetti, all of those good things. We have it winner, and then I can choose to remove Eric or I can close. If I don't remove Eric, he stays. Eric has another shot, but it also populates in my results section so that I'll know that Eric was one of the students. You ever had those moments where you said, did you answer already? Yeah, I went. And you didn't go. So you have that option to be able to see whether or not that student actually participated. Okay. How is anyone else using Wheel of Names? Did anyone want to share how they're using it?
I just used it how you use
So,
it,
right. We use it at a district level. We use it for our employee giveaways. We use it for our Tech Tuesday when we do staff giveaways. We throw everyone's name in and we do it that way. We have a Google Classroom. So with Wheel of Names, you can link it to your Google Classroom. We have one for our employees that normally attend our technology sessions, and it will link over. So I can just run randomly. And if someone is not there, I can take their name out as opposed to them being on that general list. Okay. All right, so digital badges. Everyone knows digital badges. You've heard of digital badges. We, in our division, I've started the BCPH Digital Badge Initiative. We know that teachers are leaving the profession for several reasons, but we know that the work that we do is very good, and people can't really compare to what we do in most professions. And sometimes just say, hey, I see you're doing good, or a pat on the back is what most people need. So we've started digital badges. And in order to gain a badge, there has to be an increased digital technology presence, recognition by a colleague or coworker, submission of work or evidence of proof, completion of a quiz or assessment, or daily classroom office practices for the betterment of the organization. So we started this just trying to get employees to be aware of the technology they're using. It's kind of like the computer science standards. You go to implement them, right? And people become afraid because of computer science standards, because you say computer science standards and from DOE. But you're actually doing a lot of those things already. You're just not aware of how it links to the computer science standards. So that was how the badges work. And of course, you don't want to be the person without a badge. So I use badge design. It literally allows me to create the badge immediately. And I'll do a quick example how that works. So if I wanted to, let's just say I wanted to create a badge for Visty, right, for today. I can select my badge. It gives you the option to change your color variation. So I may want to go, I don't know, we're gonna go purple. And then here we'll go white, okay? And then I'm going to add an image. And my image may be, I'll make this the image. Okay, and I'll put that on top. That's going here. And then I may want to add an icon, so that'll go there. And then I will add some text. I have my text. Make it any color I want. Have font options. I'm gonna make it a little bit larger for size. Throw it right there. And even with this, I can change the colors if I wanted there. And then I'm done. I don't want to do anything else with my badge. So I'm going to download it as a PNG. I have to put my name in, my email address. And it will download it for me to my device. And then I can take that badge and it becomes an electronic version and I can send it to whichever employee that has received the badge. As we went through creating badges, it was interesting because some of the staff, they do and they use platforms that we didn't even know that they were using. So I had a staff member, she was like, hey, I'm using Pear Deck. And I was like, really? She was like, can I get a badge? Send me proof and you can get a badge. So we're constantly creating them to kind of fit our division needs. We have some generic ones, but the way we started it was we picked our heavy hitters. So those teachers that we knew that they tweet all the time, they get Twitter master badges. And what are they gonna do as soon as they get that badge? They're gonna tweet about it. So we pulled those individuals in, and then our superintendent, she is like a techie by nature. She started tweeting, and you don't want to be the one without the badge, right? So we had a request form, and then just as a getting started, each school received a digital badge for the work that they did in the previous school year because we were completely virtual. So our high school, they received the Zoom badge because everyone used Zoom. Our elementary schools, they received the Google Meet badge because everyone, so something, even down to our maintenance and operations staff and our child nutrition staff, they're receiving digital badges, digital data badges because they handle a lot with student information. So that is something that we're doing as well. And you get we do the online recognition as well. And then these are a few tweets of some people that received their badges and they were getting those badges, they were excited. So those were the ones we started off with for the Twitter master.
Now, how do you share out, besides like Twitter?
Okay.
Of course,
So we do Twitter, we do employee email, and then most recently we started, I have a technology newsletter that I send out every month. So I'm going to do a running list of individuals that have received their badge. Most people they include them in their email. We have some people that they're like running across the page.
Mm-hmm.
And then it, believe it or not, the little token, it encourages others to say, hey, how can I get a badge?
Mm-hmm.
I do some things. What do I need to do to get a badge? So we do that. We post it on we share it on social media. And most of our employees are sharing it on their LinkedIn pages as well. Yeah. But the buy-in, so we want teachers to create digital badges for students. That's how we want to do it. And we realize it's going to be a process. So we've created how they can go in and create them themselves, but we wanted to make sure that if they felt good about getting badges, imagine how their students are going to feel about getting badges. So we're trying to do that. We have a training that's going to be coming up when we come back off of the holiday break, and they're going to start working on how to create their own badges. Because once you create it, it's like a lesson plan. Unless the standard changes, it's done. So you'll have it, and they can share it in Google Classroom. They can share it with the child's parent. One of the teachers, she told me that she was going to create a photo frame. So when the kid gets their badge, then they can just take a picture, and she's going to do Velcro so that the badge will be Velcro to the photo frame to show that badge as well. Okay, and then these are a few other photos of some of the other badges that we've created just based, even our board members, they wanted badges, they had badges too. Because they attend VSBA and they've done some program completion things for that, so. Just a few of the badges that we have, and it's really cool to see them in their emails, and for other people to say, hey, how'd you get that?
Right. So did you create like criteria, you know, like for your like Google Meet Guru one? Was there any type of criteria that?
Google Meet Guru was a generic one that went to any of the schools that use Google Meet. We knew they use Google Meet, so that was done. Now, for our Nearpod Navigator, those are levels. So it's level 1, 2, 3, and 4. Level 1, they have to have completed a certain number of lessons.
Okay.
For our, I don't have iExcel Top Educator, that's leveled as well. So level 1 was any teacher that students had answered between 5,000 to 10,000 questions since we started the school year. And then I just ran a report.
Okay.
And once I ran that report and figured out who, then, and as they increase, then their levels can increase as well.
Okay.
And they'll tell you, hey, I'm on level 3, can I get my badge? Yes.
Guardian Guru too?
Yes. So for Go Guardian, that's normally our dean of students because they kind of handle the threat assessment piece. They do our network technicians. They receive the Go Guardian one. Some of our principals have received it, and then various staff that use Go Guardian religiously, they receive Go Guardian Guru. And it has helped us to determine professional development trainings, because if you have a Pear Deck badge and you're a super user, then when we have the PD session, you should be able to facilitate a training so that the technology team doesn't have to facilitate all the trainings. So we have been pulling on some, and this is actually encouraged. We have a couple of educators that are now CAMI certified educators. Pear Deck, we have one of our teachers now in the Pear Deck coaches program, and they started off with just getting the BCPS digital badges and then encouraged them to do more. Okay. All right, so in the Did You Know section, this is where all of the good stuff is going to come in. Text Giraffe. How many of y'all are using Text Giraffe? No? Okay. I love Text Giraffe. And I'm going to click here to open it. Text Giraffe will allow you to create any type of logo that you want using words. So for example, I'm going to type Visti. And it generates all these different examples of the word Visti, right? And then once I've created it, let's just say I want to do the heart for Visti. I can click on that. And it gives me, and I'll click download. And it will give me several size variations of that word. Then I'll click medium logo. I'm gonna copy it. And then in my presentation that we're in now, I'm going to paste it, and it's there with no background. So you can do that with the student's name, feature student of the month, and you do that first. Now, I wouldn't say do sentences. I would do maybe one word at a time so that it will work better. But as long as you download it in the right version, then you should be fine. Okay. All right. The next Did You Know is sheets.new, docs.new, forms.new. Did everyone know that? Awesome. Some people said no. I love when you say no. All right. So if you're in your web browser, as long as you're logged into your Google account, if you type sheets.new, it will open a brand new Google Sheet for you. If you do docs.new, it opens a brand new Google Docs form and sheet.form and sheet.form. What was that one? Slides. Thank you.
So cool.
Yeah, so that's a quick tip. Control-Shift-A. Do you all use that? Nope. Okay. All right, Control-Shift-A. I have a Mac, so I'll do Command, but Command-Shift-A. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, it brings up your most recent tab search. So all of the tabs you have open on a Chromebook, if you do Control-Shift-A. So imagine that student that was like, because sometimes they have a lot of tabs open, right? If you hit Control-Shift-A, it will bring up every single tab that you had open. Got it? Okay. Everyone got that one? All right, next, did you know? Did you know that you can add Chrome tabs to a group? Know that? Yes? Okay. So right now, if you see at the top, I have this tab here and it's pink, right? If I click that tab, it's gonna close up all of the tabs. So what I did was, at the beginning of my presentation before you all came in, I created a tab and I opened all of the links that I had in my presentation. That helps when sometimes you're going from presentation to link, and I put them in one Google Chrome tab. So they're all grouped, and that's my Vista tab. This is beneficial if you're working on something in your class and a student walks up and they're trying to see what's on your screen. If you have your tabs grouped, you just hit that tab and it closes it up. And then when you pop that tab, it'll open it right back up. So that's called grouping tabs. So when you group a tab, I'll just do this one here. You right click on the tab and you click add tab to group, and I'm just gonna do new group. And this is extra tabs. And I'll change that one to green. And it automatically puts a green line around the tab that's included in that group. So then I'll go ahead to my Vista tab and I will right click, add tab to new group, and I'm going to add to my extra tabs. So essentially I could close here, I could close here, and it reduces all my tabs at the top. Now, the only caveat to that is if you want to ungroup, you have to click ungroup, because if you hit close group, it's gonna close all your tabs out. Okay? So I'll go here, I'm gonna right click and I'll click ungroup, or I could take them and move them to a new window and they'll be grouped in a new window by themselves. Okay? All right, next, did you know? Control T opens a new tab, Control W closes that same tab, and then Control Shift T will open the tab that you accidentally closed. So I'm gonna click Control T, or for Mac, Command T, opens it, okay? And then if I want to go back and close that same one, I'll click Control W, it'll close it, or Control Shift T, and it'll open the last tab. Remember I did that sheets.new and I closed it? It identified that that was my last accidentally closed tab. So it automatically opened that accidentally closed tab.
That works good too if you have a student that closes something out real fast and
Yes.
you walk over.
Yes, you just move your hands for a second, Control Shift T, yeah, and it'll open it back up and it will show you that. So that is good. Hadn't thought about that. Ooh, look at you. You get a badge. So yes, that's definitely an option that you have to be able to do that as well. Okay. The next did you know is Chrome Actions. Within the Omnibox, oftentimes our students bring their devices and they need Chrome updates, right? And instead of having to go through the whole process of figuring out where to go for that, in your Chrome browser, if you type update, then it automatically populates the Update Chrome button. And if you click that, it will take you directly to the Update Chrome section. Yeah. As opposed to having to search through all of your settings to get there. And the same would apply if you wanted to clear your browsing data. So I'll go here, browsing data, and it takes you to your tab to clear your browsing data without having to go through all your settings. Yeah, those are called Chrome Actions, and you can find those by typing in the Omnibox. The next did you know is I love PDF. How many of y'all use that? Does anyone use that? I literally love PDF. I love PDF. I love PDF is an online. It's an online, I guess you could say, data center that will allow you to merge a PDF, split a PDF, compress a PDF. Yeah, sometimes you search online and you found a really good resource from another school division. and we never do that. And you only need pages 3 through 6, but you don't want, pages 1 and 2 and 7 and 10. You can split your PDF by doing that. So I'm going to click on split PDF. I'll select my PDF.
Is this free or is it paid?
Yeah, it's free. Mhm. I used to love PDF. I used to use PDF Candy, but after a while they put restrictions on it. But I haven't had any restrictions on this. So this is my presentation from today. Okay, and let's just say pages 1 through 10. I wanted to share those with just my teachers, but then pages 11 through 19, 18, I wanted to share those with my ITRTs. And then the last pages, I wanted to keep as a section. It has already taken my PDF and split it into 3 separate PDFs. I'm going to click split. I'll download my PDF. Or if you sync with Google, it will sync it to your Google account. And now once I've split my PDF, I can go back and take those split PDFs and upload them and add page numbers if I wanted to. Or I can add a watermark if I wanted to. Or I could take my whole PDF and turn it into photos. So it will allow you to do that, and it downloads every page to a photo in a zip drive. So if I click here, and then those are my PDF. Oh, I won't really share my screen because let's see. Stop sharing. And those are my PDFs split into 3 separate documents from that one. So that's I love PDF. Okay. Any questions so far? All right. Chrome has a QR code option in the Omnibox. I don't know how many of you all are aware of that, but in your search box, if you're on your Chrome, on your Chromebook, and if you click in the URL, a little QR code pops up, and when you click there, it will generate a QR code for that particular page that you're on. So that is a nice option if you create a newsletter and you want to direct everyone to the division's webpage or your school page or your ITRT page, you can create your QR code for it and it will generate it, and then you can post it on, and you can copy and paste it to whatever document you want. Okay, that's built into the Chrome browser as well as to the Safari browser if you're signed into your Chrome account. And then my last and final favorite tech tip, I think, is Duelist. I love Duelist. I don't know how many of you all may use Duelist. I'm going to attempt to do Duelist right now. Let's see if it will be nice to me. It didn't. But what Duelist normally does is it will take your screen and split it into 2 screens side by side. It probably won't do it because I'm screen sharing. But it will take your screen and split it into 2 screens side by side. And it essentially looks like, it will look exactly like you see here. So one screen on one side, one screen on the other side. It works really good if you have large monitors. It can be a little tricky for the students because if they have the 11.6 inch Chromebooks, then that could be a little tricky. But if you have a larger screen, it will allow you to split it. Our SIS person, she loves this. She'll split it. And even our office staff, they love it too. So that, or even teachers, if you're working on grade books, you're working on your grades, you're in this section for your grades, but you're trying to review something in Google Classroom, use the Duelist extension. Your IT staff should be able to add that for you, and it allows you to split that screen into 2 separate screens. The only thing about that is, instead, don't close the screen. When you're finished using Duelist, you just need to click on your extension and click back to 1, because if you click close, it could possibly close out whatever page you're working on. But it is a good extension to have. Okay. And that pretty much wraps up the session. This presentation was created in Slides Mania with a little bit of Bitmoji Classroom here and there. But please follow me on Twitter at TechDirect501. I'll be here it's 4:18. I'll be here for the next couple of minutes if anyone has any additional questions on what was shown in the presentation. And I do plan to upload the presentation to SCAD as well. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for coming. Are there any questions in the chat? No.
Asking about your presentations, all there.
Okay, okay.
I
Yeah.
told them it'd be in there.
All right, thank you.
I do have a quick question.
Yes,
Do y'all, your district like the bar?
we love it. Mhm.